Jonathan had always fought for control over his business, his marriage, his life. But when he found himself trapped in a nightmarish realm where creatures devoured his flesh, he realized control was nothing more than an illusion. As he hovered on the brink of death, a chilling truth struck him. The end comes when least expected, and when it does, will he be ready? The building was empty now. Jonathan was the last to leave. He turned back, taking one final look at the sign above the entrance. Joe, Travel, and Tours. His father had built this company with his own hands 20 years ago, and now it was gone. Another victim of the relentless pandemic. COVID-19 had strangled the travel industry, and Jonathan's efforts to keep it afloat had drained everything: his savings and his assets. With the borders shut and domestic travel restricted, there was nothing left to salvage. Tomorrow, he would return the keys to the landlord. Tonight, however, he needed an escape. He didn't go home. He couldn't. His wife had long since stopped seeing him as the man she married. Instead of support, she hurled blame at him, as if he alone was responsible for the fall of their business. Worse, when he had asked for help, pleaded with her to use some of the money he had always provided for their savings, she refused. She would rather leave him than lose that security. So, he went to the only place left, a hidden club, exclusive to those with membership, shrouded in secrecy, much like his crumbling sanity. He drank, one glass, then another, the burn of alcohol a fleeting balm against his unraveling thoughts. The weight of his failures eased with every sip. When the world spun, he surrendered to it. Unbeknownst to him, his drink had been laced with a substance few could name. He swallowed it down, oblivious. When the women draped themselves over him, whispering empty promises, he let them. He was drowning, yet for a moment, he could pretend he wasn't. Then the darkness took him. Jonathan awoke with a gasp. His body screamed in pain. The cold, wet ground beneath him reeked of decay. He tried to move, but something held him down. Dozens of small, fur-covered creatures clung to his limbs, their beady eyes staring hungrily. More of them sat on his chest, pinning him down, their tiny hands like claws pressing into his skin. His breath hitched. Where am I?" A deep, guttural voice rumbled from the shadows beyond his feet. "You've been discarded, thrown away, and now you belong to us." Jonathan's heart pounded. He struggled, but the creature's grip tightened. The voice continued, slow and menacing. "Your body is ours now, a feast for the starving." A sharp pain exploded in his arm. One of the creatures had bitten into his flesh. He screamed, agony tearing through him. But before he could react, a long skeletal hand emerged from the darkness and struck the creature away. It burst upon impact, its body splattering like an overripe fruit. "Not yet," the voice snarled. "The feast must wait." Jonathan's pulse raced. "I'm human. I'm not your food." A low chuckle echoed in the void. "And if a cow could speak, would it beg for its life like you? If a pig could plead, would you listen?" More laughter followed, cruel and bone-chilling. "We grant you a final gift, human. Speak your last words. Cry, laugh, curse your fate. It makes no difference. You cannot escape." Jonathan trembled. This was it. He had fought for control all his life, grasped desperately to shape his future, to hold on to what was slipping away. And now, in his final moments, he was utterly powerless. Tears welled in his eyes. "I don't want to die." "Then you shouldn't have wasted your life grasping at what was never truly yours. No God, no direction, no real family, no true friends. Just money and ambition. Even in death, no one will mourn you." The creatures descended. Jonathan screamed. A bright, sterile light cut through the darkness. Jonathan gasped, his lungs burning as he jolted awake. His body convulsed, his heartbeat hammering in his chest. A rhythmic beeping filled his ears, and as his vision adjusted, he realized he was in a hospital bed. Wires clung to his body, a needle in his arm, oxygen pumping through a nasal cannula. His mouth was dry, his limbs weak, but he was alive. A nurse rushed to his side. "Mr. Jonathan, can you hear me? You're safe now. You were found unconscious in an alleyway near the club. You had severe alcohol poisoning. We almost lost you." Jonathan blinked, his mind struggling to grasp reality. The creatures, the voice, the unbearable pain. Was it all just a nightmare? A hallucination brought on by the alcohol? But it had felt so real, too real. Then, like a whisper in his soul, the words returned to him. "Then you shouldn't have wasted your life trying to control what was never yours to hold."
A cold shiver ran down his spine. Was it a warning? A glimpse into what lay beyond? He thought of all the times he had clung desperately to his own strength, refusing to surrender, refusing to seek true purpose beyond himself. If he had died last night, where would he have gone? His breathing grew uneven. Death had brushed against him, a silent reminder that it came without warning. And when it did, there would be no second chances. Tears slipped down his cheeks. He had been given another day. Another breath. But for how long? He could no longer afford to live as if he controlled his own fate. Because one day, whether ready or not, it would end. And the question would remain, had he truly lived, or had he only waited to die? No matter how fiercely we grasp at control, death remains inevitable and unpredictable. Jonathan's near-death experience was more than a hallucination, it was a warning. In the end, excuses and regrets carry no weight. The real question is not how long we live, but whether we are prepared for what comes after. Because when the final moment arrives, there are no second chances. Perhaps the only things we can take with us into death are love, faith, and hope.